Hello everyone, welcome back to Tales and Thrills. Tonight we're diving into one of the most brutal, hopeless, and heart-pounding sequels in modern horror history, 28 Weeks Later, 2007. The follow-up to Danny Boyle's terrifying 28 Days Later, this movie amps up the chaos, the blood, and the body count. It's a relentless look at what happens when humanity tries to rebuild too soon after the apocalypse. The rage virus may have burned out, but as we'll see, evil never truly dies. It just waits. And that means it's time to count the kills. The film opens 6 months after the original outbreak, as NATO forces attempt to repopulate parts of London under strict quarantine. The U.S. Army has set up the so-called safe zone in the Isle of Dogs, where survivors are slowly being brought back. Everything looks under control until it isn't. The infection, like fire, only needs a single spark to consume the world again. We begin with Don and Alice, a married couple hiding out in a remote farmhouse with a few other survivors. It's quiet, tense, and claustrophobic. Then comes the knock on the door, a boy, terrified, begging to be let in. Against everyone's better judgment, they let him inside. Moments later, rage-infected hordes crash through the windows. Chaos erupts. People are torn apart in seconds. Don abandons his wife, sprinting out of the house and escaping through a window, leaving everyone else behind to die. The camera doesn't flinch. Bodies shredded, screams echoing, blood splattering everywhere. That's our first major massacre, easily over half a dozen deaths in the opening alone, maybe more. But the emotional weight hits hardest when Don looks back to see his wife swallowed by the infected. Fast forward to the newly established District 1. Don has survived, now working as a caretaker inside the American-controlled safe zone. His children, Tammy and Andy, return to London from abroad, unaware of what he did. Don tells them their mother is dead, but we, the audience, know she might still be out there. And then, she is. A recon team finds Alice alive in a quarantined house, covered in blood, but somehow uninfected. They bring her back for medical testing. And here's where the real nightmare begins. The doctors discover Alice carries the virus, but without showing symptoms. She's immune, a living carrier. The military sees her as science's biggest hope. Don just sees his wife again. In one of the most disturbing scenes in the movie, Don sneaks into Alice's isolation room, desperate to apologize for abandoning her. He kisses her, and instantly becomes infected. His eyes bleed red, his veins turn black, and just like that, the rage returns. Don kills Alice brutally, slamming her against the wall again and again. Then he breaks out, spreading the virus inside the heavily guarded facility. Within minutes, the entire safe zone is overrun. This isn't a slow infection. It's an explosion of carnage. Soldiers, civilians, doctors, hundreds die in the chaos as Don's infection spreads like wildfire. Now the kill count skyrockets. Every corridor, every room, every staircase becomes a death trap. People are torn apart, trampled, devoured. Helicopters try to contain the outbreak, but it's hopeless. The rage virus moves faster than any bullet. We're talking at least 50, 100 kills in this sequence alone. It was one of the most intense scenes in all of horror. Pure panic captured through shaky handheld camera work that makes it feel almost real. Major Scarlett Ross, one of the Army's doctors, realizes the infection has gone airborne through blood contact and orders an immediate evacuation. Meanwhile, Sergeant Doyle, a sniper with a conscience, disobeys orders to help Tammy and Andy escape the quarantine. But command switches to Code Red, extermination, and that means everyone inside the city, infected or not, is marked for death. Snipers begin firing on civilians. Gas fills the streets. Helicopters sweep the city, mowing down crowds with machine guns. It's a horrifying sequence, a massacre within a massacre. The kill count climbs into the hundreds, maybe thousands. The moral line vanishes completely. Survival becomes meaningless in the face of military panic. Doyle and Scarlett try to guide the kids through the burning ruins of London, navigating smoke, rubble, and piles of bodies. The cinematography turns the city into a graveyard. hauntingly beautiful, but drenched in death. As night falls, the survivors take shelter in an abandoned car park. That's when Don returns. He's not just another infected. He's a ghost of guilt, stalking his own children. When he catches Scarlet, it's brutal. He smashes her head repeatedly until her skull caves in. It's quick, shocking, and tragic, one of the movie's most personal kills. Then he turns on his son, cornering Andy in a dimly lit tunnel. But when Don bites him, something unexpected happens. Andy doesn't turn. Like his mother, he's immune, a carrier of the virus, capable of spreading it but not succumbing to it. It's a horrifying twist, and the seed for humanity's next downfall. Doyle sacrifices himself to save Tammy and Andy, running through a wall of flames to get them to a vehicle. The army, realizing containment has failed, unleashes napalm across London. Buildings collapse, cars explode, and we witness entire city blocks engulfed in fire. The destruction is biblical, and the kill count is off the charts. Every infected, every trapped civilian, every soldier left behind is vaporized. The body count easily exceeds several thousand. The survivors make their way through a subway tunnel, crawling through darkness, corpses, and infected lurking in the shadows. Tammy, forced to kill to protect her brother, shoots an infected soldier in the face. It's a moment of raw trauma, innocence shattered forever. When they finally reach a rescue helicopter, the tension hits its peak. This brings us to one of the most talked-about kills in modern horror, the helicopter scene. Doyle's pilot, Flynn, uses the blades of his chopper to slice through a charging horde of infected. It's gruesome, chaotic, and visually stunning. Dozens of infected are shredded into pieces, spraying blood across the landscape. It's both horrifying and darkly satisfying, a rare moment of victory in an otherwise bleak film. But even that doesn't last. Flynn picks up Tammy and Andy and tries to escape the burning city. The camera pans over London, a blackened wasteland filled with smoke and death. It feels like the end. But then, in the film's chilling final moments, we cut to Paris, the Eiffel Tower standing tall, silent, and surrounded by chaos. The rage virus has spread again. The world is lost. So what's the final kill count? Officially, it's nearly impossible to tally exact numbers, but let's break it down. The opening farmhouse massacre gives us around 10 deaths. The safe zone outbreak kills at least 100 soldiers and civilians. The Code Red purge and napalm strike easily wipe out thousands. Conservatively, we're talking between 2,000 and 3,000 lives lost in this sequence alone. Add in Scarlet, Doyle, the helicopter horde, and Don's personal rampage, and the total easily crosses 3,100 deaths, one of the bloodiest totals in any horror film. But beyond numbers, 28 weeks later isn't just about how many people die. It's about what those deaths mean. Every kill is a reminder of human failure, how fear, guilt, and desperation destroy us faster than any virus. Don's betrayal of Alice sets off a domino effect that kills thousands. Scarlet's death symbolizes the loss of compassion in a world gone mad. Doyle's sacrifice shows that heroism still exists, even when it's futile. And Andy's survival proves that even immunity is a curse because he carries the doom of the human race inside him. The atmosphere of 28 weeks later is something special, hopeless, yet hauntingly beautiful. The empty streets of London, the cold light of dawn reflecting off pools of blood, the haunting score by John Murphy. It all comes together to create a sense of tragedy rather than just horror. Every frame feels soaked in regret. The performances add to that realism. Robert Carlyle as Don gives us one of the most complex characters in the franchise, a man who is both victim and monster. His transformation scene, from guilt-ridden father to infected killer, is unforgettable. Rose Byrne's Scarlet is the heart of the film, compassionate but doomed. Jeremy Renner's Doyle, a soldier turned savior, brings quiet strength before his fiery end. And the kids, Tammy and Andy, carry the weight of the story, innocence crushed by adult mistakes. From a filmmaking perspective, 28 Weeks Later takes everything great about 28 days later and pushes it further. Faster editing, more chaos, higher stakes. But it also maintains that grounded realism that makes it so terrifying. The infected aren't zombies, they're human rage turned physical. They don't eat flesh for fun. They destroy because they can't stop. It's humanity stripped of control, and that's what makes it so believable. And in the end, when we hear those final radio transmissions from France, the same helpless static that once came from London, we realize the horror has no borders. The infection will keep spreading no matter what walls we build. The rage virus is the perfect metaphor for humanity's worst tendencies: anger, fear, selfishness, things we can never truly quarantine. So what have we learned from 28 Weeks Later? Never open the door, never assume it's over. And above all, never kiss someone who might be carrying the virus. Because once rage starts, it doesn't stop. That's it for this kill count, and what a bloody one it was. 28 Weeks Later isn't just a sequel. It's a nightmare that refuses to die, a film that turns survival into suffering and hope into horror. From mass infection to helicopter carnage, from family betrayal to apocalypse reborn, this is one of the most relentless horror sequels ever made. Thank you for watching Tales and Thrills. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more kill counts and horror deep dives every week. Let me know in the comments which scene from 28 Weeks Later scarred you the most: the farmhouse, the kiss, or that helicopter massacre. Until next time, stay safe, stay human, and don't look back.